1.
Grief.
Grief.
10 years have passed since Laura's husband died in a plane crash. However, she still cries with grief every day.
2.
Ancestor.
Ancestor.
It's interesting that you can trace your ancestors and family history through a family tree.
3.
Outbreak.
Outbreak.
With the failure of the peace talks between the two countries, the outbreak of war seems certain.
4.
Chaos.
Chaos.
Masses of anti-government protesters threw the airport into chaos by holding up banners and shouting slogans.
5.
Shudder.
Shudder.
Tom shuddered with disgust when he saw the rats running around the food court. Shudder.
Shudder. Pauline recalled the terrible fire with a shudder, and she told us that she had been lucky to escape with minor injuries. 6.
Rūzalv.
Rūzalv.
After undergoing heart surgery, Jimmy resolved to eat a balanced diet and exercise regularly.
The government took prompt action to resolve the conflict between the environmentalists and the land developer.
Resolution.
Resolution.
Not doing well on the midterm exam, Kevin made a resolution to study harder than before.
7.
Humanity.
Humanity.
The racist was charged with crimes against humanity for the cruel acts that he had committed.
8.
Reside.
Reside.
Mr. Watson used to live in Taipei, but after his retirement, he moved away from there and now resides in Tainan. Residence.
Residence. Here is the official residence of the president, so there are many guards posted at the entrance.
Residential.
Residential.
For the sake of peace and quiet, nightclubs and bars are not allowed to operate in residential areas.
9.
Capacity.
Capacity.
Sandy was promoted to be the department manager because of her motivation and capacity for hard work.
The famous singer's farewell concert will be held in the Madison Square Garden, which is expected to attract a capacity crowd of 20,000. 10.
Attach.
Attach.
Most communication apps allow users to attach photos or video clips to a message. Attachment.
Attachment. The equipment has an attachment that can be used to peel, core, and chop fruits. 11.
Offspring.
Offspring.
The elderly couple contribute 5,000 NT dollars per month to the charity that is engaged in helping poor families to raise their offspring.
12.
Fourth.
Fourth.
The backpackers decided to have a good rest tonight and set forth on their journey tomorrow morning.
13.
Hygiene.
Hygiene.
Several customers became sick and were taken to the hospital after dining at the restaurant. Afterward, the restaurant was fined for its poor food hygiene. 14. Kidnap.
Kidnap.
The man is wanted by the police because he is suspected of kidnapping a 15-year-old girl who has been missing for around a month.
15.
Invasion.
Invasion.
The Queen threatened to launch an invasion of the surrounding countries and turn them into colonies. Invade.
Invade. The Allies invaded the country and caused thousands of people to be killed during the war. 16.
Deadly.
Deadly.
The ecologist is worried that the wildfire could be deadly to wildlife, making a severe impact on the environment.
17.
Antibody.
Antibody.
In most situations, antibodies can protect people from getting the same disease again. Antibiotic.
Antibiotic. The doctor put Leslie on antibiotics for a sore throat and told him to take a few days' rest. 18.
Surrender.
Surrender.
The gangsters knew they had no chance of escaping, so they finally surrendered to the police. Surrender.
Surrender. On August 15, 1945, Japan took unconditional surrender to the Allies, which brought an end to World War II. 19.
Troop.
Troop.
The government sent in the troops to end the demonstration by force. This action attracted criticism from other countries.
20.
Infect.
Infect.
It is advisable that people who get a cold should wear masks when going out to avoid infecting other people. Infection.
Infection. To prevent a bacterial infection, you need to clean the wound and change the bandage at least once a day.
Infectious.
Infectious.
The disease is highly infectious. Therefore, to prevent it from spreading rapidly, people should wash their hands frequently and follow the required preventive measures.
21.
Symptom.
Symptom.
Wesley has developed the symptoms of the flu, including a fever, a sore throat, and muscle aches.
22.
Collapse.
Collapse.
The war resulted in inflation and economic collapse in the country. For that reason, many refugees fled across the borders to the neighboring countries.
The news about the collapse of a new building shocked everyone who lived nearby.
Collapse.
Collapse.
The earthquake was so strong that more than half of the buildings in the town collapsed.
23.
Combat.
Combat.
Because of the commander's order, the soldiers have been bravely combating the enemy soldiers for several weeks. Combat.
Combat. The monument is in memory of the inspiring leader who died in combat in the Civil War. 24.
Mankind.
Mankind.
I can't live without my computer, so for me, the computer is definitely the greatest invention in the history of mankind.
25.
Signal.
Signal.
The latest poll signaled that the candidate is likely to win the election by a wide margin.
The tour guide signaled us to follow her wherever she went, just in case someone would get lost.
Signal.
Signal.
Those robbers are armed with powerful weapons. Therefore, the members of Thunder Squad won't act rashly until the captain gives the signal.
26.
Reign.
Reign.
There were constant civil wars during the reign of the king, and he was eventually overthrown by his own people. Reign.
Reign. Louis XIV, France's most famous king, reigned over France for over 70 years, from 1643 to 1715. 27.
Empire.
Empire.
According to many important historical documents, the Mongol Empire covered a vast amount of territory, including Europe and Asia. Emperor.
Emperor. Caesar Augustus was the first emperor of the Roman Empire, and he ruled for nearly 41 years. 28.
Decline.
Decline.
Many of the country's traditional industries are no longer competitive internationally and have been in decline for decades. Decline.
Decline. After the bad news broke out, the tennis player's popularity declined sharply and his games were cancelled. 29.
Beware.
Beware.
The tour guide warned the tourists to beware of falling rocks in this mountainous region.
30.
Thrive.
Thrive.
Even in such a hot climate, the plant can thrive and grow well as long as you water it properly.
31.
Relm.
Relm.
As a knight, William Marshall believed that defending the realm of his king was his primary task in life.
Spending 10 years on the scientific study, Nancy became an expert in the realm of science.